And talking about young players is I want to do something fun. We're going to go back to back. We're going to draft two different teams. Right now, first, we're going to draft each one of us a starting NBA lineup, two guards, two forwards, one center, under 26. So each player has to be under 26. Obviously, with the draft, you can only take a player one. So if I say I'm going to take X player, he can't take X player. He has to take his Y player. So
since you're the
I'm going to
host,
go.
can I have the first pick?
Yep, I was going to let you have the first pick on this one. I'll take the first pick on the next one.
So we're just talking under 25 all NBA starting lineup.
So under 26, so 25 or under, and you draft two guards, two forwards, center, or play it up however you want.
Okay. With my first overall pick, I am taking number 0 out of Boston, Mr. Jason Tatum. I think he is the future face of the franchise, face of the NBA. Steph's on his way out. I think Giannis has done a good job, of the personality and things. Nobody really cares about Joker because he doesn't have much of a personality. So I think he's a super, super talented two-way player, and he fits the bill, and he's already done big things. So I'm going with Jason Tatum.
I think the guy who still has room to grow and he's already this good. I'm going to take, and this might be dumb, but I'm going to take Anthony Edwards at my shooting guard position.
I love Ant, bro. Yeah, that's a good pick.
So I'm going to take the fact that this man can, dude. When they beat us, Ant with like 5 minutes left. No, it was more like 7-8 minutes left in the fourth, had 5 fouls, bro. He was about to foul out. And the fact that he put his team on his back the rest of the game into overtime, didn't foul a single time, and won the game for them. That team's a good team, and they've been able to mesh incredibly well. The two towers in the middle with Gobert and Cat's been able to kick out instead of having to. He's tried to adapt his game. You got to give Cat his props. I know there's a lot of Karl-Anthony Towns hate, but I do like the way that he's adapted his game with Rudy Gobert getting there. Ant's still the best player on that team.
It's super weird that that's worked out.
Yeah.
But it's worked out. Look at the standings.
Yep, absolutely. Go ahead. I'm not going to do a snake. You can take the next one.
You could snake it if you want.
Okay.
You can
snake snaking it.
Because I want you to take this guy so I don't have to take him.
I'm going to take Luka.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep. So my two guards are covered. We talked about Luka before the podcast. Obviously, Luka's really good. He's like, third, second, and MVP voting right now. He probably shouldn't be MVP in that top 3. Regardless, still an incredible player. And since he became a dad, he's like averaging 40-something points a game or something ridiculous. So, insane.
I love Luka. I do. My problem with Luka is I don't enjoy watching him play all the time because of the amount of complaining that he does. I'm okay with the foul baiting, as you're going to see with my next pick here, but I'm not a huge fan of the constant complaining. So with my next pick with Tatum, he needs a good point guard, and I'm not going to pick the guy that's going to get suspended for showing his guns on TV or on social media, even though Ja is the truth. I'm gonna go with Shai. Shai is he's an MVP candidate this year, I guess. OKC's killing it. They got a good young roster, and I think Shai and Tatum is a very strong pairing so far to move my team forward to beat your young team.
And I think the other honorable mention there, because since the other honorable mention would be Tyrese Halliburton. There is the other, but the fact that he leads the league in assists, and if you factor in turnovers on top of that, it's not close. It's not even anywhere close.
My thing with Tyrese is that we can't ever talk about how good Tyrese is without acting like the Kings made some massive mistake when they traded for a piece that took them to the playoffs for the first time in 16 years. They almost beat the Warriors in the playoffs, and they're good again this year. So if we can have this conversation about Tyrese without bringing the Kings into it, it's okay to admit that DeMontis wasn't working for the Pacers, and there wasn't going to be a way for the Kings, for Tyrese and De'Aaron to move forward together. It's okay to admit that. And the also thing is at the time the trade was made, the Pacers didn't want De'Aaron. He wasn't what he is now. De'Aaron is De'Aaron under Mike Brown. He is a superstar now under Mike Brown. He was not a superstar when the Pacers took Tyrese. So would we have liked to have kept Tyrese and got Domantas? Maybe. But it's working out for both franchises so far. So I'm not going to be a Kings homer. So Keegan is not on the list yet, but my boy is so good. So I got Shy. I got Jason Tatum, and we're snaking, so I'm the next pick. And just because there's a lack of talent at this position, I'm going to go ahead, and with my next pick, I'm going to take Mr. Wembyana and play him at center because he's not there yet. And Sengun down there in Houston is really, 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 really good. But I think that Victor, moving forward, is going to do whatever he wants, Kevin Durant style, for as long as he wants to do it. And in a couple of years, when he puts that weight on his body, look out. He just moves so smoothly. Like watching Chet.
That would have been my one too.
If you watch Chet and then you watch Victor, Chet's good. I like him. He's a nice ball player. Victor is just next level. When you look at the two of them and just how they move, athleticism-wise, on the court, there's a reason why you don't have a ton of 7'6", 7'8" players because they generally can't move the way that Victor can.
Yeah, and I really like Chet, but unfortunately, he wouldn't be my center pick. But it is my pick next, and I'm going to make sure I take my power forward. Actually, gosh, I don't know. I almost want you to make the decision for power forward for me. You know what? And I am going to let you make the decision for power forward for me. So I'm going to take Sengun. I'm going to take Alperen Sengun.
Okay.
You know, Chet is right there, right next to him, walking with him. And it was really hard to make a decision between the two, whether it's Sengun or Chet, because Chet's efficiency this year is really incredible for his first full season. But I think Sengun has something special with the talent around him. I think he could be something incredible. Obviously, the comparison is, you know, he's baby Jokic or whatever, which obviously I don't know how much anyone really likes the comparisons. But at the end of the day, it does draw comparisons, and he might have the brighter future, especially since he already has the weight on him. He's built for it. I like him a little bit better. And like I said, I'm not going to pick my power forward because I'm going to let you make that decision for me. I'm going to take my small forward, and I'm actually going to take Franz Wagner. He's been really good for the Magic this year. He's gotten a lot better. He's really good in the second half. The second half of games, he turns it up to 10, and he'll carry that team to a potential win. I find him. He might be the best player on that team.
Is that because they beat you guys?
No.
They did, right?
I do like the Magic's roster, though. They did.
I'm trying to search to make sure this guy, but I can't find it because my computer's all wonky. Are we taking players that are 26 or they have to be under 26?
Under 26.
Okay. All right, so recap your team for me real quick.
So I have Luka and Ant. I have Franz Wagner and Alperen Sengun.
And I have Shai, Tatum, and Victor Wembanyama.
Yep.
So you're going to give me Zion.
Yep. So you're taking Zion. I'm taking Jaren Jackson Jr.
I have to take Zion, even though I have another hole on my roster. I have to take Zion. You know who I had to check to see how old he was, and he's 26, is Brandon Ingram, because I love Brandon Ingram, but he's a little too old for this exercise.
That was my small forward. It's actually really hard to find small forwards under that age of 26 outside of Tatum.
So
that was the one I was struggling out with a little bit.
I got Shai. I have Zion, I have Victor Wembanyama, and I have Mr. Tatum. So I am looking for a player that is under the age of 25 at the guard. And I want So you're going to take Jaren Jackson Jr., so you're done.
Yep. I'm going to take Jaren Jackson Jr.
So do I want Jalen Brunson or do I want Darius Garland? Who do I want?
You want Tyrese Maxey.
Oh, bro, he's had one good year.
I don't know, man. He showed flashes last year, and then you get Harden out of there, and you actually give him the full starting spot, and he's doing what he's doing right now. You know.
Yeah. The thing about it, I think we've all picked teams that are like De'Aaron just turned 26, just so you know. December 20th, just turned 26. So he doesn't count. I think we've all picked players that are like the highlight of their team. You know what I mean? Shai is the best on his team. Wembanyama is the best on his team. Zion, Brandon Ingram, they're right there, right? Jason Tatum's obviously the leader of the team. And then you pick those. Maxey is a very good young player, but he's not, we're not talking about, we're talking about he might have the MVP on his team. So,
yeah.
But damn, you're right. Tyrese Maxey is really, really good. Unless I just cop out and, technically I could have the other Tyrese, right?
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, Tyrese Maxey brings an intensity to my team that I think I need, especially since, I can't rely on Zion to bring a game in and game out. So,
and unfortunately, I think what seals the deal for who would actually win this matchup, I think what seals the deal is obviously I'm a homer. So Tatum steals the deal for me. I mean, that first pick.
I have the best player.
Yeah. You have the best player. You have a top 3, 4, 5 guy in the league.
If we could let every GM have the pick, if every GM could have the pick, how many would take Tatum over Luka?
That's 20 out of 30.
You think 20 out of 30?
I think just because Tatum's actually gotten that team to the finals, he's playoff proven. Even though he's only 25, he still feels like he's been in the league for 10 years almost, because he's that good and he's that mature. He's that seasoned. You don't hear shit from him. You don't gotta worry about him. He does his own thing, right? The most off the court antics that he ever has or that ever gets posted about him is, Deuce, right? His son Deuce gets posted as much as Tatum does, but outside of that, it's not like you're worried about anything.
To a detriment to him, to be honest with you, I think there's a reason why Luka is got the shine that Tatum doesn't, because Tatum isn't. He needs a little more in the way of marketing if he wants to take what I called him. I called him the future face of the league. I gotta be honest with you. I'm gonna rescind everything I said. I'm gonna take Ja. I have to, because we're just talking talent here. But I mean, Ja Morant is. I mean, before he went on his path he's just, So, man, there's a lot of good young talent at that age, especially. I'm a huge Jason Tatum fan. I hope he sprains his ankle tomorrow and can't play, but it's just the watching Jason Tatum play basketball is so much more aesthetically pleasing than watching Luka, than watching SGA, than watching him. I love watching De'Aaron Fox play basketball because he's not call baiting. He's not trying to get to the line 50 times a game. He just goes out and plays basketball. And Tatum
That's why I
goes
like
out
about
and plays
Ant too.
Basketball. Ant too, 100%.
Same thing with Ant. Yeah, those guys are fun to watch.
I love Ant because Ant loves Sacramento. Every time he comes to play Sacramento, he loves Sacramento. So it makes me think, ooh, maybe we got a shot. You know what I mean?
Right?
He's probably one of the only players in the league that I would consider involving Kyler Murray in. People are talking about, the Raptors want Kyler Murray for OG Anunoby. Yeah, congratulations. Not going to happen. Not in a million years. And you know what I want? I want my owner to triple my salary tomorrow, but it ain't going to